Hello, how are you? My name is Pedro Muñiz, and this is the second video for the second midterm exam, the oral part for Gabi Bilevich, so if you're watching this one first, please go back and watch the other one. Also, in case you're wondering, I had to shave because I looked like a homeless man in the last video. Well, this time around I have to talk about profession, and answer three different questions. But before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about what profession is about, the way it was written, and who wrote it. Profession is a novella, that is to say, a short novel. So it's written in chapters. It was written by Isaac Asimov in 1959, I believe. And Isaac Asimov is a really well-known author who specialized in science fiction novels. Take this into account because this story takes place in the far future, where technology is at its peak. And it also takes place in Earth. Humanity had already conquered most of the galaxy by this time. Well, let me read you the first question. These are my notes in case you were wondering. The first one reads, account for the plot of Profession. So Profession follows the story of George Platten, a young man whose dream is to become a computer programmer. He even went so far as to read books about it, which in this story is actually not necessary, because people learn via machines. It's like machines are connected to their brains at the age of 18 on a day called Education Day, and they may magically learn everything about the profession that they got, because not everyone can choose. Well, at this Education Day, George Platten, for some reason, couldn't get educated. It was like something went wrong, or he didn't know at the time. So, after everyone else had already left, an old man approached him and told him he was from the government and that he would be taking care of him from now on. Then they took George to what he described as a jail with no guards and no bars to hold him. A year of grief passes in this jail, and he decides to go to the Olympics out of nowhere. He grabs the money that he had saved and goes to the Olympics, where most professionals compete. Now, this exploded into a myriad of situations for George that concluded in him having to go, well, him being taken back by guards empty-handed to jail. After being unconscious and waking up in jail, he realizes that this was actually not a jail. This was an university, and George was one of the few people in Earth that actually had the will to learn by themselves and had imagination. So this place was actually a university. Something that, in my opinion, made a lot of sense at the end when I read it. I really enjoyed that book. Well, let's go on to the second question. Describe Education Day and the procedure. I already explained most of it, but let me go over it again. When boys and girls reach 18 years of age, they have what is called an Education Day. Technicians take care of these boys and girls and are called one by one. A technician uses a machine which is loaded with a tape that has the knowledge of a specific profession. Then wires come out of the machine and are planted near the corner of the eyes of the patients, we could call them, and on the forehead. Afterwards, a buzzing sound happens on the machine and a white light is seen, at least for the people that are undergoing that sequence. Well, automatically every knowledge is imprinted into their brain and they go out as professionals. That's about it. Last question reads, why did George think he was the victim of some misunderstanding and who did he blame? Well, George, as I stated earlier, used to read books to be prepared for his profession. He told this to his technicians. So, to his technician that was called, I believe, Antonelli. So he believes that Antonelli kind of felt like George was a useless person or making useless things, and he was being kind of cocky. So he feels like he was undermined by this person. This, after the novel ends, we realize that that is not the case actually, and that he was just smart all along. Let me finish this video by saying that I really enjoyed this story, and it was probably the story I enjoyed the most in this class. Anyways, that's about it. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye!